Mr. Norwood, can you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes, sir. Let us bow. Eternal God, how we thank you for bringing us from 2025 up into 2026. Father, we want to pause to say thank you for watching over our city, over our employees. Kind Master, as we come together tonight, let this be the year of more love, more unity, and a more harmony. And Father, let us forever be humble. And let us self-examine ourselves. Examine ourselves, and if it's find anything that's not worthy of you, Lord, make it right. Create in us a clean heart, that we may be better servants for you and better servants for your people. This is our prayer. This is our petition. In no other name than Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, it's time for the department reports. Who wants to get started with that? First and foremost.
Afternoon, council, mayor. All right, so first, I wanted to start, so maybe everybody will know, because Bob's calling me and asked me about it, in case y'all seen people putting up there's cameras everywhere. That's our flock system that y'all approved of, and I think they have one more until every one of them are installed. So that's what that is, in case somebody asks you in the public, hey, what do people do it? That's what it is. Calls for service, they answered a total of 1,003 last month. Wrote 169 incident reports, had a total of 41 arrests. Wrote between citations and warnings, 380, 50 citations, 330 warnings. They worked a lot of accidents. I think there was over 17, like 15 or 16 traffic accidents. So they stayed pretty busy last month. That's one I got.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
How many, I don't know if you call them surveillance cameras or whatever, but how many law enforcement cameras do we have around the city?
Including the flock or not including?
Well, does the flock include that?
Yeah, that's all we have. We don't have anything other than that, because it took us for surveillance of somebody or anything, we have to have a warrant for it. But these are not gathering that type of information, they're just reading license plates and cars. But I think there's a total of, is it 12 or 15 of those? They're all at the entrances and exits of the city, so if somebody comes in or they exit, then it will capture it. So if we have a murder or a robbery or whatever else, you can put in there, I'm looking for a white Chevrolet with a toolbox, and anywhere it goes, it'll pop.
You can tell where they come in and where they go out.
Do we have any cameras or traffic control, maybe at 96?
The only thing that those are monitored by TxDOT, and those are for evacuation purposes only. They do not report, like some people will ask, hey, do they report? No, they do. They're live data stream, like they can watch wherever, in case there's a hurricane, and they can monitor traffic, in case there could be contraflow or whatever, but there's nothing that reports.
Thank y'all and your officers for making sure we were not on CNN again this month.
Try not to do that all the time.
Mayor, council, sanitation report for December. And for the holiday, we used the additional backup truck, the 5-load for the residential pickup, so we could keep our trash schedule up. We hauled 41 loads to the landfill, and that equals up to 820 tons. We had 7 work orders for replacement residential cans and for commercial replacement of dumpsters. And we recycled those too, but I didn't get the total on those. We recycled those at the recycle plant, but they should have it at City Hall. Any questions?
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The Light Fire Department, we worked a total of 96 work orders, 31 power outages, outages this month. They had one pole change out for the month, and they spent the majority of their time working in the park, for the Christmas in the park and stuff. Right away, they, trimmed out 440 feet of service wire, 600 feet of primary wire, and about 1,500 feet of road right-of-way stuff. They've cut down 5 trees, and they also spent quite a bit of time in the park too. Other thing, we did receive the Manus trimmer. They got it in early. Been doing some training on it. Haven't really got to go out and use it a whole lot. Still doing some training on it. And the other thing, Osmos was here. They finished up checking 3 of our circuits for rotten poles and stuff in December. So now we're starting to change those out now this first of the year. Any questions?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm kinda concerned about the outages, that the city of Jasper is experiencing. I looked back through your reports and there were 31 outages in December, 26 in November. I'm sorry I don't have October, but there were 30 in September and 28 in August. And so are these outages that we're experiencing every month, are they in one area or are they multiple areas all over the city?
That's our whole system. It's not one area. Take for instance, you know, the area we live in is inundated with tall trees. We have a 20-foot easement that we try to maintain, but those trees are, you know, our poles are about 40 foot. And the trees are, you know, they're 140, 150 foot tall. So we have trees that actually on the other side of the road will fall and hit the power lines. And a lot of times it's not the dead trees that are falling on the lines, it's the stuff with leaves that can catch wind. And the wind can blow, it'll actually blow the limbs across a pretty good area. That's the reason we have the outages. In your area over there, you ride down the road, those trees are huge over there, they're very tall. It's always an ongoing problem in whole this area of southeast Texas.
So it's a limb problem that's causing these outages?
About 90% of the time.
In one of these outages, the electricity was out for like 3 hours, you know, and it was cold. And so there's a lot of elderly people and a lot of people who depend on oxygen and other things that they don't have Generac, they need electricity. Is there anything that we can do at the city of Jasper to provide more reliable service to the citizens? I mean, do we need to do more tree trimming? Is there anything that we can do to help with these outages? Because it seems to be a lot of outages. I have people calling me. I spoke with another council member as well who receives a lot of reports of outages. Is there any, I mean, can we step up the tree trimming or?
They trim every day. They trim every stuff. We trim back to 20 feet, and then we can't go into people's yards and cut people's trees down. We have to stay in that easement. And 20 foot is the widest easement we have, so we can only, some of ours are not even, they're 10 foot. So I said, it's always gonna be an ongoing problem. And if you're talking about people that are, they're on life-saving equipment, you know, sadly, they need a backup plan. You know, we can't guarantee electricity 100% of the time where we live at. It's just not feasible. It's not gonna happen.
No, I don't think it'll be 100.
A lot of people that's on it, they can't afford it.
Well, they have, if they're on oxygen, they should have tanks too. You know, they're not out there without their oxygen machines.
Well, I just think that we need to do our best to provide reliable service. I understand it's not 100%, but that just seems like a large number of outages for every month for the months that I read to you. So I was just curious if there was anything that you could do to help decrease these outages. Do we need to do more tree trimming?
We're already doing all we can do as far as tree trimming goes. I mean, with the personnel we have and the amount of stuff that they're doing.
And Lee, wind plays a major portion of that problem.
Yes, well, if you know, you see on bright sunshiny days, we'll have a big outage because why trees decide that they wanna just split and fall in two. It happens pretty regular. Or just big limbs will fall out of them. And not to mention, squirrels are a big problem.
Yeah.
we were always, frying squirrels on the power line. You know, it's-
If I could ask you, the next time that you give us a report, would it be okay to maybe those outages, however many there is for that month, to give a reason beside each one of those, where that way we know, what's causing those outages?
I can do that. They do an outage report every time they go on an outage, and they give them to us. I mean, if you want me to stand here and give you all 31 of them, if we have whatever they are,
No, I'm saying when we get the next report for next month, would you mind putting in there what caused those outages?
10 squirrels, 15 lambs.
I can do that. I mean,
Is there any way we can reduce the squirrel population?
well,
I got a good recipe.
I don't know, I don't think you can reduce the squirrel population, but we are a power provider, and it's our responsibility to provide reliable service to our citizens and customers. So I'm just asking that you please give a reason for the next report.
we can do that.
Lee, one quick question, may not have any significance at all, but if a squirrel gets a power line, a limb, or whatever, how far range does that go each way, or is that any way to tell that?
Well, if it's just on the transformer, we just have a couple houses on the transformer. Sometimes it may open up a tap fuse, and you'll have a few more houses on it. We've had instances where, depends on the fault current that it produces, it can open up a breaker at the substation. A lot of times, if you see a blink in that, just one blink, and then a lot of times that's something that's fell on the line, or a squirrel, or whatever, and it'll blow the fuse there locally, but it'll also, because of the time events on those breakers, it'll see it for one time, it'll give you that blink.
Anybody else got any?
I'm good.
Thank you, Lee.
Good evening, I'm Lindsay with the library. In December, we signed up 17 new patrons. We had 1,006 items checked out. That includes physical books, ebooks, and our audio-visual materials. We had 113 users to our computer lab. We're starting to see a pretty good increase in foot traffic, people coming in asking about Tri-County applications, which we now have those. Our library events, we held 7 in December. We had 144 overall attendees to our programs. Our big event for December, we held our first season to share book drive. We collected 170 books. We distributed out 70 books during that event. The remainder of those items we donated to few elementary and the Jasper Junior High for their library and classrooms. Any questions? Thank you.
I just wanna say one thing, that you did a good job last week.
Oh, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, okay, you did a good job. She spoke at the teacher's retirement, and it was really interesting. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm with the municipal court. We had 70 new violations filed for the month of December. We completed 93 during that month. We had 51 real citations written, 295 warnings, and 280 stops. We had 47 warrants that were issued. We had 50 warrants that were cleared, and we collected $16,527.56 for the month. Any questions?
Thank you.
Mayor, Council. On Public Works, the water production, we pumped and treated a total of 35,825,000 gallons. We've been doing some tank maintenance on some of the lighting for the tanks. water distribution, we have repaired 13 water leaks, installed 69 water meters. And the contractors have actually got the new line on the west side of town, all charged. Everything has been connected. They're just doing some final touches, clean up and stuff like that. We should be flow testing all the fire hydrants and all that should be in service on the west side of town. The wastewater treatment plant, we treated a total of 23,530,000 gallons of water. The collection department repaired 4 cleanouts that was sources of infiltration, replaced a pump at the transfer station, installed a 4-inch sewer tap, and done a total of 26 sewer calls. Street and drainage, used 15 tons of coal patch for pothole repair, cleaned out 1,500 feet of drainage ditch, swept 1 mile of city street right away, slope mowed 1.5 miles of street right away, and used 6 tons of reclaimed through the asphalt or recycling. Any questions?
I have a couple, if no one else.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask, about the street sweeping. I know that we talked about this before, about the curb and gutter that you need to run the street sweeper. Is there a schedule of streets that you guys are sweeping on a regular basis? So every month you have, it's a certain list of the streets that's being swept?
Yes, ma'am. And that list should be in your packet there. You should have a list of the streets they've done in the previous month.
And if I could ask one more question, it seems to be that in your report, there's a lot of work happening at the fire training field, with the street department. They were there 5 times in November and 5 times in December. Do we have something new going on at the fire training
We
field?
did, our new construction department built some restrooms out there for the training field, because they had a school coming up and there's no restrooms out there. So the Emergency Service District bought all the material, and we have our new construction went out there. So we had to move some rock around on the side of that, where the rock is on the side of the hill. So the street department had to come out there, haul some dirt. We built the building, they had to come put some rock in, so that's what that was. And it's really nice if y'all wanna go out and look at it. I mean, the guys done a really good job on the restrooms and all that, and it's bringing a lot of schools and stuff to our area, so it's a really nice complex.
Oh yeah, it's a very nice facility. When they dedicated it, I was there,
Yes,
but I
ma'am.
haven't been back since, but it is very
Well,
nice.
Y'all more welcome to go out anytime and look at that.
Is that open out there? There's no gate or anything?
There's a gate, yes, sir. But, I mean, if y'all wanna go and look at it, I'll be more happy to meet somebody out there and show you.
Good. Anybody else?
Mayor, council. So for the fire department, for the month of December, we answered a total of 21 calls. So 2 of those calls were structure fires, 3 were mutual aid provided, 4 were woods, grass, and brush tree fire, 4 motor vehicle accidents. We had 1 active alarm, 5 false alarms, 1 hazmat call, and 1 unauthorized burn, for a total of pumped 25,450 gallons. Any questions?
What's the status now with the drought, or is it?
We are pretty dry, yes, sir. I don't know the
We don't
exact,
have banned yet.
no ban, no burn ban yet. I have many questions every day, but not yet. We can enact on one here at the city for the, mayor, but usually we just follow suit with the county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, code enforcement department, December report, we had, went down a little bit because of the holidays, but we have about 2 commercial building permits, electrical, plumbing, gas, total of 13. On the residential, slightly more. Had 8 buildings, a couple of manufactured home placements, for a total of 21. All in all, 34 permits issued. Legal sign pickups, 25 of those. We've removed 5 buildings. Remodel or demolition permits of their own accord, 37. So to date, permits issued 93, complaints answered 20, code cases, including debris and vegetation, 40. Total revenue of $8,496. A few active cases still on the books right now that Derek, Brandon, and I are dealing with. They should be in your packet. If there's any specific one, feel free to ask about it, but they're pretty much basically in the stages of either securing their permits, making those demolition repairs, or scheduling to have them done. There are still pending documents to be coming, will be forthcoming. We just been inundated with plan reviews, so we got most of our notification done, and I hope to have everything on the next agenda for February for those abandoned mobile homes for you to vote on. Any questions?
I have a couple.
Okay.
The mobile homes, that were unsafe structures, I think that is great. I think code enforcement is doing a great job with that. I came and spoke to you and Greg a couple of months ago about the list of commercial properties that we have, that are either unsafe structures or are not following the code. I don't know if the other council members agree with me or not, but I would like to see a list of commercial properties as well, where the council can vote on those too. And I think it would go a long way to making our city looking more beautiful, you know, and well kept, if our commercial properties were kept as well as our residential properties.
Yes, ma'am, I do remember that conversation, and we have verbally discussed it, Brandon, Derek, and I, and we're trying to put together a list of those properties, but as I mentioned before, we have to have the evidence from a public way, which, regardless of that, there's still a few of them that we can do that with, and then I had to request a legal opinion from the city attorney to make sure that we weren't bypassing any type of public hearing notification by providing a list before we've actually notified any of the owners. So, like I say, I hope to have a comprehensive list to put together a few of those buildings that other guys and I have discussed, but I just want to make sure that we weren't bypassing any of those legal requirements.
Oh, absolutely, and I wouldn't want you to do that. So you received a legal opinion from the city attorney for a list of the commercial properties?
No, what I did was I just wanted to make sure based on our city ordinance and the way I understand it, because it's gonna be one of the first times that we do that here in Jasper, I just wanted to make sure that I had the I's dotted, T's crossed, because a lot of the owners that do contest these are mainly coming from failure to notify or follow the proper waiting period to notify and then have that public hearing. So based on that information, I wanted to just really make sure that, especially on the commercial buildings, the residential, you have a lot of heirs and passed down from family member to family member, and then some moved off. Whereas the commercial properties, a lot of them are still locally owned businessmen, and some, you know, that are close by. So without, again, skipping due process, just wanted to make sure that by getting that list, we also have that notification in place.
Absolutely, I think that's great. I think it would be great for us to receive a list of the commercial properties, as long as it's okay with the city attorney, and I think that would be really great. Like I said, I think it'd go a long way, to making our town look a lot better. And that way it's fair and everyone's following the code across the board, not just residential, but also commercial. We have codes for a reason, and everyone should be following them.
Everybody good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor and council, Greg Greg asked that I give you all an update of all the grants that Waxman Incorporated is working with the city on, so I placed those at your desk, because I was unexpectedly out of town last week and didn't get it to Liz in time for your packet, so I hope you've all found those. The grants that we're just wrapping up and we're working on now, the first one that you'll see, is D263. That was a competition grant for, $11 million that we did streets throughout the city. We closed that one out in August, and that one accomplished 7.15 miles of new city streets within the city limits, 37,746 linear feet. So we did a lot with that grant throughout the city. The next grant is the regional mitigation grant. We refer to that as E758. That is the allocation money that came from the DETCOG region for mitigation, and that was 3.9 million with no match. And we have two projects on that one, the High Truett Road and Temple Drive and Temple Spur, which is now complete with the exception of a walkthrough. I encourage you all to go up there and drive that portion of High Truett Road. It's nice hot mix surface and also concrete turnouts where all of the garbage trucks and other big trucks drive in and out of the city facility down to the waste collection and down to 96. So that one is near completion. The other portion of that grant is sewer improvements at 6 locations throughout the city. Peachtree Childers area, College Street down to Marvin Hancock, Water Street, Willow Drive, and Marvin Hancock at the wastewater treatment plant. We expect to be environmentally cleared on that portion of the project by mid-February, and we're in the process of doing some acquisition for some easements needed on that. And if staying on schedule, we will bid that portion of the sewer project in March. The next two grants are under the Disaster Reallocation Funding Program. F346 is replacement of sewer lines throughout the city, and this will include over 11,100 linear feet of sewer line improvement, and in 3 main areas: Double Loop, the old LP area, and Graham Street area. This will include manhole rehabilitation along those sewer lines. And that environmental clearance is in progress, as well as the final design on those. These grants are under a strict 2-year time frame, so we have to have our environmental clearance completed at the 1st of February, and so we hope to be out to bid on that project in April. The final grant that we have active is F347, which is the water line to improve the water service to the Gilgal area. It'll start at Live Oak, just north of Willow, go up to Verna, go west out to, and include Denton Drive, then go all the way out to County Road 125, that 126 loop, and go north on 124 all the way to MLK. That environmental and the design of that is also in progress. It's under that same time frame of a 2-year grant, and so we hope to bid that one in April. So those are all of the active grants that we have with the city right now. Happy to answer any questions about those.
I would like to say thank you so much. You and Leslie are very knowledgeable, easy to get in touch with, I'm sure, with Greg, and I've also spoke to Liz and Bob, and I really appreciate everything that you do for the city of Jasper. These grants are huge to our people who live here and truly improve their quality of life. So thank you so much.
We really appreciate the opportunity to continue to serve the city. It's extra special because we live here and we get to see it firsthand, but we do know that you have a choice for your grant administration, and Leslie and I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank Leslie as well.
Will the JEDCO report? Ms. Northworthy.
To the mayor and council members, as truly a blessing to be here and to speak on behalf of JETCO. I think we're doing a great job. I think we're working together, and we in turn trying to improve Jasper through JETCO. So with that said, just a little bit about what's going on with JETCO. By the way, Bill Grant is out. He had surgery on his leg, and his wife had back surgery, so I'm taking his place. But the projects that we have going on through JETCO is gated rentals. It is active. That contract started on August the 26th of 2024 and will end on August the 26th, 2027 for 36 months. Total fund allocated for that particular grant was $325,000. The remaining funds available is $40,000, but that's allocated for a generator. They have 114 active employees here in the city of Jasper, which is awesome. Starting pay for a gated rental is $13. It goes up to $20 per hour. Their time is Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. So Monday through Thursday. Also, they usually build 2.5 homes per day. If you haven't gone and toured that facility, you need to. It's really neat, really, really neat. Also, if they are hiring too, so if you know anyone that needs a job, Gated Rental is hiring. And that number is 346-575-2188 if anyone needs a job. Any questions regarding gated rentals? Well, moving on up to bales. That's still in progress. We're negotiating a requirement from bales just to ensure our investment. There are some things in the contract that we want to get clear before we approve up to $160,000 for them. And so our attorney, which is Mike Guest, and he's the one that's reviewing that particular contract. So we're not saying yes until those things are met on our particular contract that we want to see. Also, with Spectra, as you know, a 20-year lease agreement was approved, and that information has gone to our attorney too as well. The rental rate to be reviewed for 2 years, every 2 years. The rent for that is $3,500 per month, which total comes out to $42,000 a year. And they have 19 active employees there. So that's a plus for Jasper. We're moving in the right direction. The Chamber of Commerce, as you know, JETCO approved $300 per month for rent for that. But however, that has to go through their board, and then it has to go through our attorney, which is Michael Guest. So that's gonna have to go through our attorney first before it's actually approved. So don't think they just got the $300 per month to pay for rent. That has some steps it has to go through. Also, our bylaws. Our attorney has their bylaws too as well. We voted on quite a bit of changes in our bylaws. But our attorney's gonna look at that first, and after that, we will present that back to the city of Jasper. Also, we have a new employee too as well. And her name is Mrs. Ozan, and she is doing a wonderful job for us. She started on December the 29th. Also, Double C Customer LLC. As you know, that was the one that they made the whips and all that stuff for us, and they were supposed to in turn have a location here in the city of Jasper. Since that never transpired, we wanted some of our money back. Could not get the whole $73,000 back, but we did receive $20,000 back from that, which is a plus for us too as well. That contract started December the 21st in 2021 and ended on December the 21st, 2024. But our attorney, Mr. Guest, made sure that we received some of those funds back from that. Any questions for me?
Ms. Norsworthy?
Yes, sir.
I would just like to remind or mention to the mayor.
Yes, sir.
That is Vice President Norsworthy.
I don't know, doing my best on it. I just want to thank, I love Jasper.
Yeah.
Jasper's my home. And I love to see Jasper continue to come together and progress, and that's what we are doing now. We're showing progress with JETCO and the city. Anything that we do at JETCO, we will in turn bring to the city for your approval.
And
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You had mentioned, Gated Rentals.
Yes,
Go
sir.
out and visit Spectre also.
Yes, sir.
That is the most interesting place. If you haven't been out to Spectre, they give tours or whatever, but they'll show you what it's all about. That is a very interesting place.
And I can just elaborate just a little bit on the Gated Rentals. As you know, I work with adult education, and we partner up with Lamar State College in Port Arthur. And so we have classes in Gated Rentals facility, and the students there will in turn get their credentials and be able to work there. And they have hired 4 of our students there at Gated Rentals and employment. So that's a wonderful thing. So when they finish class, they got a job. Any other questions?
I'd just like to,
Yes, sir.
thank the executive board of JETCO for getting the wheels under themselves quickly and getting us going back forward.
Thank you
It's
so
very
much.
important.
Thank you. We're doing our best. Thank you again.
Y'all are doing well.
Thank you.
And that moves us down to the public comments. And we have Mr. Tom McClure up. Tom, need to remind you 3 minutes, please.
I'd like to emphasize what Ms. Norworthy told you, commissioners, and JETCO is working hard to try to make the monies that come in here in your tax dollars produce as much as possible as it can. In order to do that, however, there is a lot of controls that are put upon JETCO by the state of Texas as determining what happens to the dollars that comes in here. You know as well as I do that you're under audit for the year 2025 now, and so is JETCO at the same time. And we will have to do a lot of explaining about some gaps in the finances that we had some difficulty with. But I can assure you that from everything that I've seen, it's a problem of maybe just not simply being on top of the problem when it arose and did not get things done in a way that they could have. But we are working hard to have a ongoing improving relationship with the public and with the city and with the county. There's a couple of 3 things that you need to know about in general. The Airport Industrial Park is our most prime business site that we have right now. We will be visited in January, the latter part of this month, by 2 different entities that are coming in. We can't release the names of those right now, but they are heavily involved in aeronautical business. And if we land either one of those, there will be a couple of major aspects that we'll need to consider. The first of these is working comparatively with the county in regards to the improvement that they're gonna have to make to the airport side of the agency. Most of the fencing on the airport industrial park is on the east side, and for which it's under JETCO's name. We'll have to do that. But we are anticipating quite a bit of benefit if either one of these 2 are selecting Jasper to be their location. And I'll be glad to report on that in detail as soon as we've had a face-to-face meeting with those entities and let them know what we know and we know what they want to do in Jasper. So we're very excited about the future, and we're hopeful that we won't see any kind of problems coming out of either one of those. But they aren't the only birds in the sky. There's a lot more out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that concluded, we're moving down to the, consider for approval. We've got 4 items here. I'd like to take all those under one. If we can. Number 1 is consider approval to set up minutes for the December the 8th. Number 2 is the City of Jasper fourth quarter investment reports. Number three is for the general elections coming up, May 22nd to May 5th. For the government between the City of Jasper and Independent School District and the just May elections. And then also number four is the local government agreement between the Jasper County and the City of Jasper for the May 2nd elections. And number four is to consider approval for the contract between the City of Jasper and the Jasper Independent School District for Jasper to authorize the use of buses for transport citizens to and from community events.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Anyone have discussion? No discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion should carry. Item number 5, Greg is gonna give us some reports on the recommendation for engineers, grants, and some bids we received on the fuel, I believe.
Number 5 is our annual fuel and hydraulic fluid and motor oil bid. We received one bid, it's in y'all's packet, and it's our pleasure to go with them.
I move we accept.
I say,
We have a motion and a second to approve the bids on the fuels. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? 5-0. Number, second one, Greg?
Yeah, this is the, committee that y'all approved to go out for engineering and administration, for the CDBG DR grant. Councilmember McCroskey, Bob Gary, and Liz was the committee, and I was the alternate, and all three of us here that day was able to do it. As you can see on y'all's page, they chose to go with, Waxman as grant administrator and LJA as the engineer. Just need y'all to approve that.
I make a motion.
I second it.
We have a motion and a second for approval. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? Thank you, Greg. Number 7 is a consideration for a variance. Mr. Chairman, would you like to clue us in on that, please?
What we have is a variance request for Mr. Cooper at 931 South Main Street. Mr. Cooper had a dilapidated carport, tore it down there, had been through a couple of storms, and he had a driveway already poured and a slab there for it, and he's going to go back and put a new one there so he can park it. So we looked at it, he's going to encroach 7 foot into the required 10-foot setback, but since this is a metal structure and it's open on all sides, he met the requirements for the justification of the request, and after review of city staff, there were no encroachments, so we recommend that he approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Did you get that second, Liz? Okay. All in favor of the variance, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, discussion, consider for approval, amend the city council rules and procedures that was I'm not exactly sure what we're doing there, Liz. Can you enlighten me on just what we're doing? Variance. Consider approval, discuss council meeting rules and procedures for the city of Jasper to include the following amendment items. Is there any packet, items 1, 2, on page 2, and quorum and debate on page 5.
I asked for this to be on the agenda. I'd like to make a motion. Under agenda items, Mayor, that's why it says page 1, the heading is agenda items, and then it says agenda packet, page 2, and discussion and debate, page 5. Under agenda items, I would like to make a motion to insert the following under agenda items. Once an agenda item has been decided by the city council with a vote, neither that person nor any person may submit the item or any item concerning a similar subject matter for placement on the agenda for 365 days, 1 year, unless the item is requested to be placed on a future agenda and approved with a majority vote by the city council to do so. That's pretty standard at most cities. It will prevent us from voting on the same things over and over again. So that is my motion to insert that rule under agenda items.
I see.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any questions? Discussion?
Is that not in violation of the Robert Rules of Order and the, state law on, what cannot be put on there?
Our rules supersede Robert Rules of Order, and this is a standard. A lot of cities, Baytown is one, a lot of them have this rule in place to prevent repeated voting on the same agenda items over and over again. It's not a violation of Robert's Rules of Order because our rules supersede Robert's Rules of Order.
We could actually vote something down in error. For example, the cost of living adjustment for our employees, which was voted on the first time because it was not presented correctly or where we understood, and we brought it back next month and did correct that to make sure that our employees got the cost of living adjustment. That freezes us from being able to correct a mistake, if you will, or a misunderstanding, and I think we should not approve.
May I be recognized, Mayor? You gave the example of the cost of living that you brought back a second time. I would like the record to show that that was against the advice of our city attorney to do so, for the budget to be amended to do that. And also, this does not stop us from bringing things back that needed to be brought back. You'll need a majority vote to do that. That's what I just read, and Mr. Holmes seconded that if you wanna place that same item on the agenda again, it will be with a majority vote. And I believe that will prevent a lot of the items being brought back repeatedly, on this council and on other boards as well. So, that's why I think that we need to do this. We are doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. So, would that be a simple majority?
Yes, a majority is a simple majority, 3 members, yes, sir.
Just clarifying, thank you.
The only question I had there was the 365 days is a long time situations, but you saying in that, we can, with a majority, we can bring it back.
Yes, sir, this is a standard rule at most city councils, and it prevents the repeated over and over again. So it's pretty much standard at many cities to do 365 days, 1 year. And the only exception to that would be that, as I read, is that unless the item is requested to be placed on a future agenda and approved, as Mr. Hildebrand mentioned, with a simple majority by the city council to do so.
Call the question.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
4-1.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we appoint Ms. Angel McCroskey.
Wait a minute, hold, wait.
We're still doing rolls.
Oh, we have a new-
Yeah, we got 2 more.
Okay.
Two
We
more.
got 2 more. Would you enlighten us on the second one?
Yes, sir. Under agenda packets, I would like to make a motion to strike, quote, "the Friday afternoon preceding meetings," and insert the afternoon on the day that the agenda is posted for the meeting. And also insert, all council members who do not receive an iPad to view agenda packets will be provided a paper copy. This will be placed in a 3-ring binder and organized with all appropriate dividers, sheets, notes, etc., and will include all information needed for every meeting. And the reason that I'm asking about this is that when I first became a council member, we did receive iPads, and we did vote that the council members that did not want to receive an iPad could receive a paper copy. And I believe that it's very important for the council members to receive a binder. I noticed that you have one, Mayor. Liz, you have a city council binder as well for our meeting tonight? Me? Yes. Yeah. And Mr. Kelly, you do as well. I don't feel that that is an unreasonable request for the council members to receive a binder, and for it to be prepared exactly like it is for the city manager and the mayor. And I think it's hard to keep up with these meetings when we don't receive that. What we've been receiving, I don't know about the other council members, but I get paper, I don't get the iPad, and it's a paper clip with just all the paper stacked together, and it's not organized, there is no notebook or anything like that. And we did budget a pretty good amount of money for our department, the legislative department. So I feel like we can afford to continue to do as we did before here at the city of Jasper and provide council members with a packet, with a binder.
So, just where you do know, I keep the same binder, put my stuff in it.
And last month, the one that I received last month, there was no holes, there was no sheets for notes, you know, and so I just feel it would be easier. That's just my opinion. If you don't receive an iPad, I think that we should receive a binder and the information so we can vote on it.
You talking iPad, you talking about electronic iPad?
It says tablet. Right when I first became a council member, the council before me, Mr. Holmes was on that council, voted for the council members to receive an iPad, and they can look on that iPad and pull up the agenda. But some people would rather have paper, and I'm one of those people, and so, my motion is to under agenda packets, I would like to make a motion to first, strike the Friday afternoon preceding meetings and insert the afternoon on the day the agenda is posted for the meeting. And also to insert that all council members who do not receive an iPad to receive agenda packets will be provided a paper copy. This will be placed in a 3-ring binder and organized with all appropriate dividers, sheets for notes, etc., and will include all information needed for every meeting. That is my motion.
I move we approve as presented.
I second. Do you have a second?
No second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussions or questions? Call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
You opposed? Unanimous? Two. And the third, please.
Yes, sir. This is also, my agenda item, and I would just like to discuss this, because we did, place on the agenda to discuss this. Under decorum and debate, at the last city council meeting, there's a lot of interruption and things going on that should not be going on according to our rules. And also, I believe the councilman mentioned, that I'd spoke twice, so I didn't need to speak again. That is not what our rules states. Our rules state that everyone can speak, and then that person can speak again after everyone has spoken. It was also mentioned of a time, and our rules do state a time. Each one of us can speak 5 minutes. You know, that's the time. We can also give our time to other council members if we choose to do that. I believe those all are very reasonable. But I just wanna be sure that if we are gonna be timing council members, that we're timing all council members and yourself as well, Mayor. Where that way we can be sure that everyone here is being treated fairly and the same. So that's my only comment, about decorum and debate, and to make sure that when council members are speaking, that you're not interrupting without point of order. because that is what our rules state, point of order. You have to say that, you have to follow these rules for decorum, and I think our meetings will go a lot more smoothly if we do that. That's my only comment.
Question on that, you said in the time we have 5 minutes, but if I understand it right, you can allocate some of your time to somebody else to speak.
Absolutely.
But that time accumulates, you don't get to start over.
Well, actually, in our rules, under decorum and debate, if you wanna look at page 5, Mayor, it says that any member deciding to speak for more than 5 minutes on any question or more than 5 minutes on any amendment to a question will be accorded the privilege only upon a motion supported by 2/3 of the council. No member will be permitted to interrupt while another member is speaking. So one of us could make a motion to allow that council member to speak longer than 5 minutes. It also says, no member will speak more than the time limits provided herein on any subject or amendment, and such member may use his or her time in any combination in separate speech or comments totaling the number of minutes permitted. The mayor will not be obligated to recognize any council member for a second comment on a subject or amendment until every council member wishing to speak has been allowed to first comment. Council members will also have the right to yield a portion of their time to another member. So I'm sure that would be difficult for you, Mayor, to be timing 5 people plus yourself, at the same time, you know? I don't feel that we really speak over, where that would be
I don't see it
necessary.
being a problem, but just for the rules.
Absolutely, that's
If
what
you're,
we'll say.
if you've been talking for 3 minutes and you say, I'm gonna relinquish to Quinn,
Mhm.
and he goes over 3 minutes, does that use your 5 minutes?
LaQuinn can choose to give a portion of his time to me or to any council member. I guess I wanted to be clear on what our rules were, because at the last meeting, that is what you said to me, Mary. You said you have a couple of minutes left, and so I'm just curious if we're timing council members, I just wanna be sure that we're timing all council members and your comments as well. And that would be very difficult. And yes, absolutely, that's the rule. But that would be very difficult for you to time yourself plus all 5 council members and then give time to other council members. So that was my comment.
Okay, I understand. But am I correct that it, not just a question, I'm saying, all right, if you're speaking and you speak for 3 minutes and you relinquish to the Quinn to, I guess, go ahead on the same, or give his comments on that subject. But if he uses 2 minutes of that, is that your last 2 minutes of that?
I'm not giving my time to LaQuinn unless he requests my time, or I'm late that I want to give the remainder of my time to LaQuinn.
Okay.
Just because he speaks on the same subject, that's his 5 minutes. You say each one of us get 5 minutes.
But does it,
Can
Yes.
I think y'all are
saying the same thing in a different way?
more in 2 different languages.
Yeah.
If you've got 5 minutes, and I speak 3, and I yield my final 2 to Ms. McCroskey, she can take that 2 and add it to her 5.
Because you've chosen to do it.
That's
You've
right.
chosen to
Yeah,
yield, not
and
just
it's-
because you spoke on the
I don't get to come
subject.
back and pick up that
Yes,
last.
that is
That-
correct.
That was my.
That is correct, but that 5 minutes can be used, in multiple instances,
Yes,
it does
yes,
say that, yes, sir,
absolutely.
yes, sir.
I just didn't want us to be jumping around and using 5 minutes and 3 minutes and everything on the same subject. At some point, our 5 minutes has got to run out.
Yes, and at any minute, a council member could call the question,
Yes.
and we could vote, we could limit debate on any subject. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wanna be sure that if we're gonna do that, if we're timing council members, that we're timing all council members.
Okay, you made the motion?
Well, it was just a discussion,
Well, I mean, there is a motion on that.
there's, to
The
discuss,
Okay.
to
okay,
discuss.
Okay. Okay.
Is there gonna be a motion on that?
We already voted on the motion.
Yeah, we got that.
Okay. Mr.
We're
Mayor,
going down to number 9.
Mr. Mayor,
Consider for approval to appoint Jasper County Development Corporation, JEDCO, board member Angel McCroskey.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr.
if I may, I would like to appoint Ms. Angel McCroskey, Tom McClure, LaShawna Johnson, and Ross Howard to the JEDCO board. There are vacant positions. I think these will be excellent choices.
Point of order. The agenda item is the only thing that we're allowed to vote on, Mr. Mayhart.
Okay, consider for appointment the Economic Development Board directors. It doesn't
Council
necessarily
member,
say
it
it's
does
only
say
you,
me.
dear.
It
I
does
see
say
where
me.
nowhere it says you are the only person we can consider.
Point of order, Mr. Mayhart. We're only allowed to vote on the exact language that is on this agenda. That is the law.
I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
It's an illegal motion.
I have
It
a
is
mo-
illegal to
I have
vote
a
on
motion on
things
the
that are
floor. Is
not
there
on
a
this
second?
agenda.
Okay, hearing none, I guess there's not a second to the motion.
Okay, let's go back to the, number 8.
And
Consider for approval.
number 9.
I'm in number 9, sorry.
It says that the city council has the right to appoint to the board.
Point of order.
Ms. Moran, can we diverge off of that, appointing more than one member? Just, that's what's on the agenda?
I believe that we need to follow what's on the agenda, but the city council does have the discretion to appoint and remove, members from the JEDCO board at any point, at any time.
Mr. Moran,
I hold my motion. Do I have a second?
Mr. Moran, it has to be placed on the agenda, correct?
So what I said was I thought we should need to stick with what we have on the agenda.
And what is on the agenda is to appoint to the Jasper Economic Development Board of Directors, Councilmember Angel McCroskey. Mr. Mayhart, you're more than welcome to place it on a future agenda.
There is no second on, Mr. Mayhard's motion. So that motion fails for lack of second.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Point of order.
It's not a,
May I speak, please? I make a motion that whatever's on the agenda, I make a motion, to appoint, Councilmember Angel McCloskey on the JEDCO board.
we have a motion.
We had a motion on the floor before Ms. Horn. It needs to be addressed
What motion?
to adjourn, and any member can call to adjourn at any time. We've done it before.
Yes, you have to have the votes to adjourn.
Well, we didn't.
He made the motion,
He
we
made
didn't
the
go any
motion.
further, so we have to handle that.
I would second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussions, questions? Call the vote. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion failed.
Motion failed.
Now, Ms. Horn.
Mayor,
Okay.
Ms. Horn made a motion.
Yes.
Did we get a second? No second to Ms. Horn?
Would you wanna repeat your motion?
Oh, to repeat, okay, I make a motion that we, put, Miss Angel McCroskey on the JEDCO board. It's already on here, so I make a motion that we do that.
We have a motion. A call for a second.
I'll second. I can't.
I think that's still illegal, because that's the same thing Bob did, we still have to read this agenda item. We never made it to this agenda item yet, so I love you, Ms. Lane, but jumping out there, you jump out there the same way Bob jumped out there. And that was illegal, and he did it.
All right, well, let me,
No, we have to do this agenda item, we didn't do this agenda item.
number 9, you talking about, okay,
Yeah,
consider for
jump.
approval, appoint the Jasper Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors, Council Member Angel McCroskey.
I'll make a motion.
I second.
We have a Motion and a second. Call for discussion.
Mr. Mayor,
Questions? Mr. Mayor.
it was my understanding previously, Council Lady McCroskey was against the idea of council members being on the JEDCO board because you're asking for someone to be oversight over themselves. And I don't know how you can be on a board that you're supposed to supervise if you're part of that board. I think that's a conflict, and when she said it previously, I agree with her. I thought it was inappropriate that we have the board stocked with council members.
May I be recognized, Mayor? I never stated that. Mr. Mahar, I would like for you to quote me. I never stated that, and actually, currently, Mr. Hildebrand is on that board. I'm a public servant, and I'm happy to serve in any capacity that the Lord and the city of Jasper, the people of Jasper, choose to place me in. I'm more than happy to serve, and I've been asked by citizens and also by JEDCO board members to do so. I call the question.
All in favor? Question, Mr. Moran. Can Ms. McCroskey vote for herself?
Yes.
Ms. Cross, you can make a vote. She can make a vote.
Yes, I
Okay.
can.
I didn't know if that would be a conflict of interest or
No.
not. All in favor? All opposed?
Aye.
Passes 3-2. All right, and at this time, we will go into executive session.